since I will be leaving for a couple of weeks, in a couple of days from now, I was like, maybe I should do a video, try to at least get the grease going a little bit. So I decided to do this video. I've already made a lot of recordings that I'm not very happy with. Shows me I really need to do this more. But I was thinking, I don't really know what the hell I should even be talking about. And as coinkydinks do, I happened to see, while Twitter doom scrolling at night because it's fucking 300,000 degrees Celsius outside, because my country had so many NIMBYs that were trying to tell everybody, no, AC's bad. Well, now I'm here, awake, and I was like, what the fuck is flame fatales? So, I will give you a very brief history before I will read out the tweets, because I like to have some fun towards the end. Flame fatales was first announced back in April of 2019, I believe around mid of the month, where they would then teaser the upcoming event Flame fatales for May of 2019. I believe it was 12th to 15th. That should be the correct dates where that happened. My memory has essentially convinced me, has Berenstain affect me or Mandela affect me, that the next event was the Fleet Fatales. But there was actually a Flame Fatales in between these. But because the PR at the time was so garbage, and I was following them, and I was using Twitter actively, I could barely see anything about this. Because Games Done Quick really doesn't like to tweet this out. They really hate it. They had a very bad... They basically were just doing very badly. They couldn't even get a fucking thread going on Reddit at the time, like for the first few events. They didn't get their articles, which I think they were looking forward to, because at the time stood to reason, GDQ got a bunch of them, that they would probably get an article or two, because the all-female thing, which in the cultural zeitgeist right now is of course one of the most important things of all time. If you have an all-female thing, you need to promote it as such and blah blah blah. So they basically had about 8 or 9 events, all for the Malala Fund, which I'll be talking about at the end of this segment. The Flame Fatales, to my mind, is a completely failed project that can never get off. They have barely any followers on Twitter. They have barely any viewing, and barely, from what I can see anyway, and barely get any shoutouts. Now, I do remember that Kotaku, for I believe the first Frost Fatales might have been, they got an article, and it really didn't do all that much still. So, I don't really know why they bother to keep this up. I guess it's more for the PR aspect than anything. The account tweets relatively infrequently, because I was able to basically just scroll all the way down to get all of this information. I had some previous recordings, as I said earlier, where I already looked all of this shit up. But I wasn't happy with it. So that's the story of Fatales. And I remember, if I remember correctly, they always support the Malala Fund. Now, I happen to run into one of the staffers. One of the few staffers that I've seen on Twitter who actually has the balls to say in their bio that they are working, because as staff you are working with or for Games Done Quick. Probably for Games Done Quick. The funny thing is, this individual, Air Angel TV, I believe they're called, names and tags searched me. I haven't tweeted at them. I haven't used the hashtag. I haven't used the @ I haven't used anything in that tweet. So we have the typical perma-online mentally ill people who have to name search these things. I tweeted out, we already have a new name for the all-female event, Flame Fatales. This time it's Flame Fatales. By this point, I didn't even know the Flame Fatales existed. So, basically, 3 years where I didn't know that Flame Fatales was a thing. Or Mandela or Berenstain effect. Whichever you want. Probably because the naming is so shit if you call yourself Flame and Frame. You know how similar they sound, right? It's a shit name. I know you want to be with FF. I'll get to that later on as well. Why do they need constant rebranding? Because to my mind, because I didn't know they even had a Twitter account that they are active on. I was genuinely thinking this was a different entity altogether. That's genuinely what I believed. Because, again, the PR is so shit. And if you want to learn anything about GDQ or any of these people and these events, you basically have to be allowed within them. Or you'll never hear or learn anything. So, I did that tweet. And of course, from the heavens descendeth the Air Angel TV. Fucking cunt. And said, Frame Fatales is the all-women speedrunning community. Yeah. Which I already said. The all-female. Oh. I used 2 apostrophes around the female. Flame Fatales is the summer event. Frost Fatales is the winter event. Much like how GDQ does AGDQ and SGDQ for naming mainline events. And I was like, okay, goodbye. And I honestly wasn't going to respond at first, but quite frankly, I'd had it with these people. I had it with these cunts. I'm going to call them what they are. I'm going to call them out on their bullshit. So yeah, this is actually a Games Done Quick staff member who puts it in the bio. Good on you. I mean that sincerely. I think you're a cunt, but at least you have the decency to put that in the bio. That you are a staff member. It is impossible to find that out. And now, a quick update since we're here. They updated the contact for Games Done Quick. Now it's only Mike Uyama and Fat Ferkel. They removed Sumichu probably because she decided to resign her position or whatever. Now you only have the owner and the director of operations. You cannot contact anyone else. You can't find anyone else. These are the only people that are now on there. So, I can't find anything out about who works for them, who volunteers for them, who does anything for them. It's impossible. It is just completely impossible to find that out. Again, unless you are very deep within them. You're very deep in the community. You can ask these questions. If you would do this as a business in the real world, by the way, everyone would probably consider you as shady, especially because your marketing is you are a charity. By the way, you're not a charity, you're a limited company. You are profit first. You are a for-profit organization. You just happen to base your business model on making it seem like you are a charity. By the way, don't forget, whenever you send money to it, to GDQ, you probably get some tax write-off at some point that you can write in. And GDQ, when they donate this to charity via the appropriate channels, they probably also get a tax cut. Let's be real. They probably also make some money from that. So, because I did actually remember wrong, the first 2 events that I had in mind before I read my tweet out was Frame and Fleet Fatales. I didn't know about Flame Fatales. Or I wiped it from my memory. Hey, either or. I really can't remember. The first and second instances already had different names without that explanation. The marketing for this is so bad, they need people like you to name search for taglines to go around correcting people. But to be honest, not a soul can know who gets paid and who volunteers for GDQ either. Consistently awful and under the table dealings. Next I hear one of the upper brass, just like with ESA sits on HR, I'm laughing with my money to the bank, and join a name searching. I didn't expect a response to even that, because Eternal Enigma also couldn't respond to that. Of course, this individual did. So yeah, again, reminder for everybody. Enol, who is the apparent CEO of ESA, sits on the HR for ESA. I think that is an ethics violation. I don't think it's actionable though. They probably would have been sued by the government by now, well, by the Swedish government, because I think the Swedish are probably a little bit harsher on this. They might be laxer. I'm imagining they're harsher. Don't know. So congratulations, you're getting away with murder. Ah, I see from your bio that you're a compulsive liar, menace, and apparently a genius. Good luck, have fun with that existence. FF events will continue to thrive regardless of your opinion. Victory emoji. I don't know where to start here. I'll start with the I'll respond to some of it in the reply that I made later. You shorten it with FF, which is Final Fantasy, to 99.9% of the population. The only people when they write FF and they mean frame fatales are people who are talking about the event. You are so fucking stupid for thinking that you can say, oh well, we're branding us with FF. I wonder actually if they would try to do that, if they could get sued by Square Enix or, yeah, presumably by Square. I don't know. But it's a really shitty thing. That FF is the shortening, because everything is F. Frost, Flame, Fleet. Always FF Final Fantasy. Why? Okay. Now my response. I see from your bio that you put lighter, which must mean you are one, and not just mocking whoever made that inane comment. By the way, I have my pronouns in my bio. I just said, yeah, GG. After that quotation mark. Usually we're not allowed to look at the bio and make any judgments about the person. Of course, now we break the rules when it's convenient. See, it's liar there. By the way, Rich's Wrath is a piece of shit in my mind. And the only reason why I put that there is because I wanted to fucking mock the cunt. Probably gonna remove it from my bio soon, because I want to fucking get that loser off my mind for as much as I can. And yeah, pronouns in bio usually is like, you can't point that out. Oh, that's cringe. Ooh, cringe. Ooh. Yikes. Oh, downvote. But hey, if I put stuff there that's clearly in jest. Nah, that's serious. Give me a fucking break. You don't even know who the fuck I am. I don't know who the fuck you are. And apparently you're GDQ stuff. And I've been following GDQ for quite a long time. Didn't even know you exist. Cool. I just said they're thriving, are they? I think you're lying now. The reason why I say this, because I also attached a screenshot to this, was because they barely got like 3,500 viewers. Like some good time in the US. I believe it's like what? At the time of tweeting that, it was like 8 or 7 p.m. in some parts, 9 in some. So it's actually a pretty good time. Yeah, must be thriving. Must just be, chef's kiss. Must be one of the best events ever. Because you don't get properly shouted out or propped up by GDQ. Which, by the way, it's just like with ESA and BSG, the Benelux Speedrun group or whatever they were called. You all are dependent on your parent shouting you out. And if you are naughty, or if they are shit with your DPR because they are bad with DPR, you won't get seen. That's just it. Now go have fun tag and name searching, mentally ill piece of shit. I genuinely think that if you do that shit where you look at, look, he said this thing, let's head it into enter, search Twitter for this. Come on. And then you respond to it. Like, what's wrong with you? Blame your PR. Why don't you just do better PR? Why don't you do better advertisements for it? All you would have to do. Nah, that's too difficult. Now, the end of this. I'll talk about the Malala Fund briefly. Malala Yousafzai or whatever. Let me see. I actually will correct it. I did have the tab open. Malala Yousafzai, I believe it is pronounced. If not, well, sue me, I guess. Who is one of the youngest people to win the Nobel Peace Prize. But then again, you also can you can also win the Nobel Peace Prize if you drone strike your own citizens. And you're an okay president. I guess. For some people. So, Nobel Peace Prize doesn't really mean that much to me. Can mean a lot to you if you don't believe that that is legit. Or that that is at all concerning. Fair enough. Whatever. And they are mainly a fund for third world education. And you know, it's always so weird to me when they tweet these things out, because not a lot of these people actually really care about the third world. They just do. This is basically just like a fund that many people probably will donate to feel good. Fair enough. I wouldn't donate to this. Not because I'm against women education or something like that, because this is of course the first thing you have to go towards to. You have to leap on, see, you should donate to this if you support this. Nah, I don't think this is I don't think this is a fund that I would put my money into. That's it. It's just like with the Prevent Cancer Foundation. I'm not putting money towards it because I don't want to prevent cancer. I just don't trust the people behind it because I doubt the efficacy, or even if there's anything like... excuse me, I had a cough. Or because I actually do doubt that they can do much. Because if you're in the third world country where that whole thing with female education is looked down upon, that's just how it is. It's probably just the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, that's the video. I'm just taking this now. I'll upload this as is. Fuck it. So, all in all, what I've said always, and what I will say like until the end of time, as long as you fucking speedrunners are all okay with GDQ lying to you, not telling you who is a staffer, not having a comprehensive list of who works for them, who's volunteering for them, event to event, you will never know who the fuck does anything. You will not know who they actually hire, but you all give them your money. You're like fucking DSP pay pigs. You just give them money without questioning it. Hey, good on you if you like that. I don't. I think it's questionable. I think they're scum of the earth.